Hey, good morning. This is Live with Miami's Community News. I'm Michael Miller. Our guest today is South Miami Commissioner Luis Gil. Commissioner, welcome.
Good morning, Michael.
Thanks for being here. And South Miami has this new dawn that is occurring. And so let's start with an activity that just took place, I think, over the weekend at one of our parks.
So it was, excuse me, it wasn't during the weekend. It was on Thursday. We had the honor to host and the Colombian president, Ivan Duque. It made the news. As you can see, it made the Miami Herald. He came to dedicate the Colombian sculpture art garden that we've worked so hard over the last few years. And but Michael, what was significant about his visit and what I took more away from it was his speech. He took the time to talk about democracy in Latin America. He took much pride in being the second oldest democracy in the Western Hemisphere. He exalted the Colombian people to stay and fight for democracy, and he really spoke eloquently about that transition. As you know, South America is going through a transition period with a lot of regime changes, and so he is such an eloquent speaker, and I was honored to be there, and that he took the time and he gave it the importance of sending that message to the rest of us.
For all of us that live in South Florida, we have that connection, whether we want to admit it or not. That is a great connection for us. If you're in the middle of the country, maybe not, but here, what you're saying is very significant.
Absolutely, and there are our number one ally in South America, and I think as far as not only South Florida, but as far as the United States goes, we definitely need to support democracy in the region.
So one of the great things that we can see, if you get to live long enough, you get to see things when they're up and down. And 25 years ago, they were really down.
The transformation is unbelievable. I know you've had Commissioner Liebman on here. He's championed the Sister City program, and he's spoken. The transition is amazing. Congratulations to the Colombians. They're very proud and very resourceful people.
And I think we should take a lesson from being here in the United States and in Dade County, where there are areas that are not too good, that are struggling, but we know that there's this vast improvement that can be made, and we could take that example. And we were connected to them in the 80s, all right, for better or for worse. And so here we are now, all right, showing their goodwill.
And not just for us to take that example, for the rest of the region, for the rest of South America, for the rest of the world, that democracy, as fragile as it is, can work and will work. And as long, the people of Colombia has set an example that you can transform a country in a short period of time.
And how many sculptures are there, pieces?
There's sculptures that are 10 sculptures. They have done a beautiful job. I have few 3, 4, 5 favorites now that I really enjoy. It's a beautiful garden. We've spent a lot of time and effort beautifying that park, and I think it's
let's look back a couple of years when it was brought for the discussion, and people, I don't think there was a great enthusiasm back a couple of years, but the city persisted in moving forward. Now all of a sudden, when people go to Donnie Fussell Park, 57th Avenue and about 80th Street, all right, that you can go there, and it's significant. It's not just some little piece off in the corner.
Correct. So yes, the Sister City program, the sculpture, the Santiago Medina donated the original, what is affectionately known as the peace sign. It was a big hit. I think it's still probably one of the most popular statues or sculptures of the park. And it just started, and then more. And Commissioner Liebman, to all his credit, worked very hard between Colombia and here, and just got it done.
And in part of this, now there's an ordinance. If somebody tell us what it is as far as art in public places.
So any large-scale development will be a 1.5% dedicated, a value of the project dedicated to art and public spaces. So, for example, a $300 million project would have about $4.5 million.
That's amazing.
We'll have $400 million dedicated to art.
And the city was able to have that vision starting from a couple of years, 5 years ago, I think, or a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Again, Commissioner Liebman championed that, and he got that passed, and with the county's blessing. So we're going to have some funds to make significant contributions to art.
So, and it all started with, let's change the signage in the city from the standard green horizontal sign to the ones that are attractive, nice looking.
Yes, we did the street signs. We did the monument signs at Fuchs Park and at Dante Facel. And we also did the entrance signs, right?
Yes.
So now, you know how South Miami has like on 80th Street, smaller entrances. You can identify where you are.
And all those little things add up. The traffic circles that are there. I think there's some speed humps or bumps, whatever they're called, over by Big Cheese over there. And all those things add to the city cares about the citizens.
So yes, we've just completed a citywide traffic study, and we're implementing 3 new traffic calming devices throughout the city. And so we continue to address that. We continue to monitor and see what we can do to improve traffic.
And clearly, the city had been, as compared to other cities, ignored. And it's hard to say it all happened in 5 years, but you can say it happened in 5 plus 50, all right? That it's a slow progress. And now it seems to be accumulating, including on 64th Street at Madison Square. That was decades in the works. I looked over there the other day. It's great, all right? And the new homes that are there, and you have the dollar store on the bottom, apartments on the top, and next door there's going to be some.
Phase 2 is coming next door, coming online. I think towards the end of the year or early next year, it will be coming online. So that's activating that street. I see a lot more bicyclists. I see a lot more pedestrians. I just see more traffic even.
When people are concerned about traffic, and so when I look at the kind of traffic that's by Metro Rail, which is foot traffic. I see that now with the kids there, and it's extraordinary. Sometimes I pass by the front door, and these big doors that go in, and it's like a management company there, and it's the top 2 or 3 floors.
That's right.
University of Miami kids, all right? And it's really great to see people of all types walking on, what street is that? 70th Street?
Yes.
On 70th Street. So you have people driving to the Metro Rail. You have people that are on the Metro walking around. And then you have people that are living there and shopping, hopefully across the street.
Yes, they're they're walking, they're biking, they're using the underline, so they're using the facilities that are there. We're hoping to improve that facilities, especially with the underline and some street crossings, and make just place safer. 25
years ago, my father used to run under the Metro Rail. I said, "Are you crazy? You know, you're going to get beat up." And who knew?
Who knew?
You know, 25 years later, there'd be young moms with their
linear park.
I know, it's just
a linear park. Yes,
and that took a shift in our mindset about how we live and how we want to engage nature. We had some of the kids that made some of the apps on the underline down there, and their instructor was here. I was like blown away.
Yeah.
I go, how do you do that? Well, you know, they got the brain for it. They just do it.
They just do it. Yes. So it's, that's going to cut right in the middle of our city, and that's going to be transformational as well.
So what are some of the other things that the city's doing, and also very importantly, what do the citizens here, the people that live here, want?
Well, I think people want what everybody else wants. You know, number one is public safety. They want safer streets, you know, less traffic, slower traffic. And I'm glad you brought that up. One thing that I'm excited about this evening on tonight's agenda is a significant millage rate cut. I think people are besieged by inflation. It's just unending. We've positioned ourselves well to propose to have a proposed millage rate cut, and one that I'm excited about, significant. The one on the agenda is 7% cut, and I understand the county is going to do a 1%. So we're gonna do 7 times more than the county.
And without regard to the dollar amount, people want to know the government is working for them. And that's one of the ways that we show each other, here's what we're doing to help everybody out, because it is a tremendous issue now.
Yeah, well, inflation is tremendous. I think this is the inflation fight. I think it sets an example. We want leaner government, and to that point, I spoke to the city manager. We're taking care of our people. We have a low turnover rate, so this isn't on the backs of anybody this is something that a well-run city, a city whose property values have risen like everyone else's, but insignificantly. So we are in a position now to give back a little bit to our residents and business owners.
And speaking about getting back and coming back, there's a couple of places that are opening up soon. So tell us about that.
So the big news, the word on the street is Fox's, a well-known, better to you than I, a watering hole, and probably to your brother, watering hole in South Miami.
He's single.
He's single. Right. Yes. It's a landmark, probably 40, 50 years. And in fact, they're putting it, I think, right back in the same building, or remodeled building, but it's basically in the same location. So for you older South Miami residents, you'll remember Fox's. It's probably been closed 6 or 7 years. Wow. Next thing you'll know, they'll be bringing back Wholesome Bakery.
It is when I heard, I guess a while back that they're going to reopen, it was so thrilling. It's just like, wow, to have those memories of all those years come flooding back all in one brief moment.
Yeah, it really is. And I can't wait. My understanding is they're going to keep the decor the same, with the dark lighting, and they had good food, actually. I had, I think on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they would have the prime rib.
That's what I'm thinking. That's the one, baby.
That's the one. So, yeah. So they'll be back. And just in another that I had just happened to have a conversation with, Chipotle, that is very popular here in South Miami, is opening up a drive-through. So I thought, wow, that is really, for at least the Gil family, great news.
And one of the things that we think about in the last couple of years, we've had all these ups and downs. So when things are up, we should take a moment and enjoy them, because of all the price that we paid since early 2020.
Yeah, we did a lot of belt tightening. We were very conservative with our budgets. Last year, I know there was some talk. Commissioner Lehman proposed a small millage rate cut, and I was much more hesitant last year, since we were still not just coming out of the pandemic. So I'm glad it's back on the agenda, and we can do something a little more significant.
Tell us about South Miami Park on 57th Avenue.
So South Miami Park is going through some renovations. It already has started. It got approved for $1 million restroom and concession stand building.
Thank goodness.
And so we're going to have a facility there. Eventually, they're going to improve but it's getting a playground. I think there's proposal for a water park. I don't know how far with that yet that'll go, but there is a lot of ideas out there for, especially for soccer, which I'm for. So hopefully we can get a soccer program. Well, we already have a soccer program out there, and we can improve that park. We're spending a lot of money on that park.
So people, voters, residents, people that work in the towns want to be proud of where they work. And South Miami is very fortunate to have a town center. I know it needs some work, but the essence is there. And if you look from here south, Pinecrest doesn't have it, Palmetto Bay doesn't have it. South Miami has the essence of that. And when the Bakery Center, Shops of Sunset, whatever that happens, all right, it's going to be able to draw people in. So homeowners can go there that live nearby and go there and enjoy themselves. and I'm sure there are going to be lots of activities. But has there been anything new from that new owner of that?
Not from Sunset Place. I have not heard. I know Winn-Dixie, what's known as the Winn-Dixie project is moving forward. We got, as far as downtown, we got an 800 something $1,000 grant for improvements, for street improvements from US 1 to Red Road. So you're going to see it, and we also approved for park benches. So
Yeah.
so the downtown infrastructure is going to improve, but we do have to engage. Well, we want to engage the business owners.
So people can always have a conversation about traffic congestion and mobility and parking. All right, let's talk about how people are going to be parking downtown. The city purchased the parking, not the whole garage, but the top part.
The garage.
Right.
We purchased the lease of the garage. We've cleaned it. We've installed new lighting, added security. You'll a lot of police presence. Very secure place to park. And not only that, it's off the street, so you don't get that hot sun during the day, and it's cheaper now to park there than it is on the street.
So you wonder for like somebody that doesn't like parking garages, because I have a truck and I'm always ducking when I'm driving the parking garage. But what's going to get people who used to parking on the street and driving around 3 or 4 times, right, to say, you know what, I know there's parking over there. What's going to cause people to do
Well,
that?
it depends on where you're going, and I think it also there's a price. So if you're spending 3 or 4 hours going to the movies is a little different because they have their own parking. But if you're going to spend 3 or 4 hours in South Miami, you might want to consider the garage, because number one, you're going to get back to a cool car, and it'll be cheaper, and it's very centrally located.
Yes.
You can go to Casa Cuba, you walk down, and it's right there. So.
Yes. I understand that there were.
And they even have elevators. So.
Okay, that's true. I understand there was some conversation about maybe in some of the locations only allowing 15-minute parking. Was that just a rumor?
No, I've not heard of that. I know we've increased the price of 30 minutes. So we've or lowered the time limit on $1.50. I don't recall.
It's very reasonable. When I saw the increase, I'm going, okay.
It is reasonable, and no one's very little people have complained. We want in and out, of course. On the street, you want in and out, and on the garage, people just want to spend 3 or 4 hours there.
And so lots of times people complain, I was only out of the car for a minute and a half, but the ticket guy, he doesn't know you could have been there an hour sitting there. So I haven't figured out how to updo my thing on my phone. So it's always I'm looking at the clock.
Well, you'll never hear of anybody say, "Hey, I've been here 59 minutes. I didn't get a ticket." You never hear boast about that.
One of the great things that happened when the city raised the fine from 18 all the way up is, you know what? I used to not get bothered by the $18 ticket. Wow. Now I'm going, no, I'm going to put in more money because I don't want to get that ticket.
Yeah, well, exactly. A lot of places it was cheaper to get a ticket, especially downtown.
We have a mutual friend that he would have them all the time because he just didn't want to put the money in. You know who it is, don't say. So it is what it is. Okay, so a few blocks from here, just east of here, the county chose to tear down old buildings. All right, they were townhouses, almost 50 years old. People that were in there are being moved. All right, new buildings are going up. It's a huge project. A lot of money being spent in South Miami.
Yes.
So I saw some drawings on it, and it's beautiful.
Yes, and that will have also significant art.
Yes.
In public places, in a public place. A significant project upgrade. It's going to make the Metro Rail more significant. It's walkable to the Metro Rail.
So one of the things that's important, we realized this part of town for years was ignored. That's where the major improvements are being made right now. All right, in this area, and Reverend Bill Green, big black pastor over at the church, He used to say, Michael, who gets Habitat for Humanity homes? I said, who? He says, the people that fill out the forms. And I go, what are you saying? He says, you got to have people that are involved. And so when these people move, the school teachers and the employees can move right down the street and a few blocks from here into the new buildings over there, those people will be involved because they are there in the community. They're going to go to the dollar store and they're going to shop. We recognize that they're going to go to the grocery stores in this area, wherever they're going to be. It may be on Sunset Drive, maybe. Right? And years ago, when Med-I decided to move it over yonder, right, I went, wow, that's a big risk, right? But they knew.
I remember that. I was on the ERPB when that happened, when that got approved. And yes, I thought, what a visionary lady this woman was.
And the school that's there.
And the school is there.
A great school for these kids. Mm-hmm. One of the things I would like to see is more local kids being sought after. Come here. We understand that it's a cultural thing. I want my kids to go where I want. All right. And so that's a thing that needs to be taught from the beginning. Here's a way to improve it. And we see the kids walking all the way down, or their parents taking them to the elementary school over there. But maybe one day the city can go on a campaign to try to get neighborhood people to go there. And now with all the kids are going to be moving in across the street, there'll be some pressure.
Yeah, we have great schools here in the area. So Ludlam Elementary is a very good school.
So and right down the street, tell us about the Marco Drugs.
So Marco Drugs is finally, I see groundbreaking. I don't know. I've got to talk to Sonia about if they have a date, but I'm sure they're maybe you can enlighten us there, but soon. Wow. I can't wait till they come. They're great people and they run a good,
and it's
store.
A neighborhood drugstore,
yes.
Right? People in the neighborhood could walk over there, right?
Yes.
And they don't have to go to a great big shopping center to do it.
And not only is it a neighborhood, it's a family-owned place. It's these two ladies have put in their own blood, sweat, and tears into it, and they've taken the risk. And I want to support them. We're gonna be supporting them.
Good. And I told them a couple of years ago at this point, I'm the welcoming wagon. Come to the neighborhood. All right. We'll do what we can do. All right.
Thank you, Michael.
So, and it is a thrill when I watch the changes they're putting in the parking lot now, and they're going to have a drive-through that's there. The neighbor's been very cooperative, right? Everybody seems to be happy.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled. I can't wait for it to open. I know there's certain improvements that will be going on the property, and it's a great progress especially for 62nd Avenue.
Okay, and there's an election coming up soon.
Is there?
I understand that. There's absentee ballots are going out now this week.
Well, absentee for the August 23rd election.
Yes.
For that's I think that's school board and some primaries.
And what I suggest to people, when you get your absentee ballot, fill it out, mail it in. Don't wait, because in 2 weeks you're going to have the stuff on top of it.
Exactly. You don't want to put it on a stack of mail. That yes, no. Make it a priority. It takes 5 minutes. It's what we all fought wars for and all that.
So we know that selecting your candidate it's a serious thing. Lots of people don't take it seriously, but it does matter, because it's our representative. We elect those people to represent us, and we try to convince them to look our way. And the question for most people is, where do I go to find out about somebody other than, oh, I like them or her, and they dress well, and they're funny, and I see them at the stores?
I would Google them. I would look at their background, what they've done, what their background is. You can just Google anybody and pretty much find out, especially professionally, what they're doing.
Yes.
I think a lot of word of mouth in a local race like this, and where your constituency lives, like, well, they're there in your, it's a lot of word of mouth.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of testimonials people write about products and services. That's word of mouth. I think I know that person, and they like so and so.
Well, that's a definition of word of mouth, I suppose.
Yes.
But I knock on doors. I walk the city, constantly. I do a lot of exercise in the city, especially on Saturdays, and so a lot of people just know me. They might not even know my name, but they see that guy on Saturdays walking.
Let's talk about our lovely peacocks. They are typically the most arrogant animal that is around. You see them when they just look at you like, what are you doing in this road? How is it that they've learned that?
I don't know. The peacocks are both a curse and a blessing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
They're traffic calming. That's for sure.
Amen. And back here, I'm always looking for them because I don't want to hit one of those guys.
No, you don't want to hit a peacock. So they're traffic calming on the one hand. On the other hand, they cause property damage.
Yes.
And not just like a little poop. They're causing cars. They're getting on roofs and causing property damage.
They like to perch.
So yes, we've gotten a lot of inquiries about the peacocks.
So the county has said, listen, municipalities, if you have a plan with these birds, we'll consider that plan. I'm not quite sure, other than killing them. All right. So there's something, and I'm not sure what the county's plan is, and people don't really want them of consequence because they breed pretty well. So has anything been done officially to try to manage, all right, these wildlife?
Well, I told my neighbors and we've done it from the dais. Please don't feed the animals. Yeah. If you don't feed them, it will help.
Yeah. So I live on a farm and we put cat food out. So we have our one cat. Well, then the neighbor comes around, then the toads around, the geckos around, the doves. The other day it was a peacock came like that. The ibis, all right? The dogs, all right? The worst one was really the peacock who was sitting up on the roof. I said, let me tell you something, all right? She then goes and sits on our barn, all right? Over some stuff. I called a friend. I said, your peacock is in my yard. I said, joking. He goes, well, tell him you're going to dispatch him. I said, I'm going to dispatch you. He went back home where he gets fed, all right? So we know that if we're going to feed, all right, our cats, then you have to put out limited supply. When we have outside animals, and we've had to put on the feed dish a shield so the ibis can't get their big beak in there. 300 pieces of metal we had to put out. If you feed them and you water them, they're coming home.
They're coming home and they're multiplying. There's no such thing as one peacock.
Yes.
So if you see one peacock, keep looking.
And if you really want a pet like that, you can get a big guinea hen. They don't go where, clip their wings, and they'll be walking around.
Yeah. So yes, that has become an issue,
Yes.
and we'll see what happens.
It's actually a lovely addition as long as they're not on your house. You see them walking along.
Yeah, they're the perfect NIMBY thing, right? Yes. You're walking in this neighborhood. I love them in this neighborhood.
Yes. Yeah. So election's coming up for you November
2nd Tuesday in November.
There's early voting.
There's early voting. I think they dropped the ballots in late October or third week in October. And so, yes.
So if somebody wants to talk to you, they can look up your phone
305-975-1904. Please, please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, hopefully nice ones. But
you want to say thank you to your wife and your kids for supporting you?
My wife is a lovely, lovely person. She's the rock. She's everything to me. And
amen.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you, Lysandra. Thank you, Audrey. I love you.
All right. So, folks, here we have it. Luis Gil, South Miami Commissioner. You would appreciate your vote come November. All right. You've already served almost 4 years. Congratulations.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Folks, again, thanks for joining us live with Community News. Have a great day.